Side says that evidence shows that Labour Party results were swapped for APC in some cases. And I mean, lots of other reports like that. So what do you say to those who strongly believe that you rigged that election in favor of APC?
The word rigged, it's unfortunate for anybody to use the word rigged. I don't work for INEC. I don't have INEC documents with me. I'm not an ad hoc staff of INEC. And so I'm not in a place to rig election for anybody. It's when you have the materials of INEC that you can now talk about rigging. But I take exception to P2B's comment that I came out against him. People are not being sincere. People are not being, people are not appreciative. In 2019, asked P2B. I was one of the teams that chose P2B to be the vice presidential candidate of Elijah Tugambada. When we met in Elijah Tugambada's house, he said, these are the names. I will choose P2B. P2B was invited while we were in Saraki's house in the night. I was fought by people like Ipoemadu. My own friend, the governor of Ebonyi State, people like Piaside. Every blame was on why would I be the one that would say P2B why should I choose for the service? Did he come out to say Governor Wike was the one who supported me to be the vice presidential candidate? He didn't say so. And now he's saying that I said to Nigeria, I will support a certain candidate because we have talked about power shift. As somebody who attended the meeting of the certain governors in Asaba, in Lagos, in Enugu, who said, whichever party you belong to, it must be a certain president. So when he says, I came out against him, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And because nobody has ever had me during my campaigns say, don't vote for P2B. I've never said so. But even if that is the case, that I did not support him, I cannot say I came out against him. I didn't have any agreement with him in the first place to say, I had an agreement with you and you renege. So it is totally not correct.
So did you come out for him?
Why would I come out for him? Did I have to tell you I'll come out for him before? And I didn't come out for him. All I told you was that Rivers State was going to choose and support a certain president. And they did. The first person was a certain person. The second candidate was a certain person. That shows you the belief of the people of Rivers. Yes. So if he says that he won, I have no problem. The matter's in the tribunal. It is for them to go and prove who won or who didn't win. I don't want to begin to reply P2B or reply to the Peter side. That is their own position.
Excellency, permit me to come in there. What level of influence do you command over elections as a state chief executive officer? Because you constantly told us that you were going to come out to tell Rivers people who to vote for. And now they are talking about rigging and you have clearly dissociated yourself from that.
Having influence and rigging election are two different things. If your people have confidence in you, for example, they will not to go the way you are going. That does not mean you are rigging an election. Take, for example, as a governor, why should people trust me? People should trust me because I've told people this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I've done them. I've stood for Rivers State and this, and I've done it. Therefore, the people of Rivers State, look, this is somebody we should deal with, right? So in that way, it's okay, I have influence. Your command, your influence, is not because you are wicked, it's because of what you stand for, or what Rivers have seen you to do for them. That is different. Rigging has to do with those who are in control of the electoral materials. I'm not in control of the electoral materials. You were one that day of the voting. I couldn't vote for more than 3 hours. Even when I voted, my wife couldn't vote. And I said, this is unacceptable. In my own polling unit. So if I couldn't vote for 3 hours, then what is the influence of rigging?
Why do we have pockets of resistance from some quarters, especially from Rivers State, over the outcome of the presidential election. If actually Rivers people voted for the party you asked them to.
Is it anybody who makes noise is the one that tells the truth? You think when you go to social media or you go to press to begin to shout, it means what you are saying is correct. Then when you don't talk, it means that because you didn't say anything, it means you are wrong. That is not correct. Now the man who comes out to the public to shout, it does not mean it's the man that is right. Everybody has his own strategy. Everybody has his own strategy. We have done elections. When people fail, they will rush to television, they will rush to radio houses and begin to shout. So if they begin to say, because they have come to the radio houses, they've gone to media houses, means that they are right. No, that would be wrong. So it depends on your strategy. For me, I'm a due process person. If you don't believe in this, there are rooms to challenge it. There are rooms. And take, for example, if you are so influential, look at what happened. What is the result today in all the states by the governorship election, the Labour Party and the rest of them? So it is difficult for anybody to say anybody came out against you to win the election. For Christ's sake, anybody who knows me know. I was opposed to a Northern president, and everybody heard me clearly. If I was supposed to be, he knows. What will he do to me? Will he kill me? I will tell my people openly, don't vote for me. For Christ's sake, he can kill me. So for him to come out and say, Governor Wike came out, is so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
What's your assessment of INEC, the conduct of the election? Some person said because INEC promised to upload results, especially the presidential results to IREV, and they couldn't because of glitches here and there, people feel that the credibility of INEC is at stake or is questionable. But what's your assessment of the conduct of INEC from INEC perspective?
You see, if you want our electoral process, you can see in every election there are some improvements. You have said about hitches here, which means there are some problems. And so if you have problems, there's technology. You cannot say that it was intentional. Now, for me, the introduction of beavers, for me, has reduced the level of violence in Nigerian electoral system. But for the beavers that was introduced by INEC, what you are saying today would have been a different thing. Because today, even if you go and hijack material, when you hijack material, what will you do with it? Unlike before, you can hijack materials, hijack the INEC staff, you go and prepare the result, take the collation officer, he signs the result. But today is no longer that. That does not mean that we have gotten it 100%. INEC having now known, like you said, in the presidential election, these were the problems. In the governorship election, did they improve? Certainly yes. Which means, having been able to identify problems, they have now moved to the next stage, and they've been able to correct that. In fact, I was surprised. When I went to my polling unit, it didn't take me 1 minute.
For the governorship?
Yeah, for the governorship. So things moved on well. In fact, in that presidential election, I was even trying to say whether it was intentional. Yes, but you see...
You went home and came back...
Even when I went back the second time, it took me time. And my wife didn't vote. You know what that means? So I would have said, are you sure this is not manipulated? But you see, you are worried, you are tense, you could say all kinds of things. But during this governorship, they moved well. So it means that they've identified the problem and they've been able to solve those problems. And if they have another election coming, it will see that do better than what you are seeing today. So for me, in every system, there will be deficiencies. It's for you to be able to identify those deficiencies and be in a position to solve them.
I guess we'll still come back to the issue of what INEC needs to do right for the purposes of future elections. But let me take you back a little bit, Your Excellency, to the Peter Obi controversy. There are insinuations that your humble servant, Governor Seyi Makinde, betrayed your other 3 colleagues in the Integrity Governors Group. That the agreement, there's actually a video that is making it out by Barrister Daniel Bwala,
Who's Bola? From where? The one from Bruno?
Bauchi.
Is it from Bauchi?
I think it's Bauchi.
I don't know where.
The one who left APC?
Yes. I don't know where most of these boys come from.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
He left APC when the issue of Muslim ticket started.
Yes.
Yes. There's a video from him making the rounds. The agreement by the G5 governors was to support Peter Obi, but that you and Governor Makinde,
yes,
behind the other three G5 governors, went and had another meeting, and that agreement was at a meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo, but that you and Governor Seyi Makinde went and had another meeting with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and it was the result of the agreement you reached with him that we saw in the presidential.
I thought you said the video was coming from a responsible person. I mean, Bola, spokesperson for who? I think he was in that meeting. He videoed us. If you say Obasanjo had released such a video, I would have not known what to say. But let me tell you, there was never a time. There was never a time. I can tell you, not just G5 governor, the integrity group met and said they are all for Southern presidents, but not for a Northern president again. That power has to shift, and that should align with what the APC governor said. So there was never a time we said it must be it must be this. It's not correct. However, we said strategies that must make a Southern president to emerge, and that strategy was carried out, and the result was achieved. So if anybody tells you that this and that, that's the person. In terms of, after all, the same Bola you said, I said we met with him and we agreed on something, sharing of this and that and that. So they're entitled to say what they want to say. They're entitled to say what they want to say. No, nothing like that. I will not be here to disclose in details, and that will be selling out, I mean, my colleagues. Okay. But the point is that we agreed for Southern president. Yes.
Yeah, Southern president.
Yes.
Bringing it further home, wouldn't that lot have fallen on Peter Obi?
Why?
Closer to you, in terms of geographical location.
Well, as far as we are concerned, our interest that a Southern president should emerge. And that's our interest. Our interest that a Southern president should emerge. Whoever a Southern president. You see, when we went for the Southern Governors Forum meeting, we said whichever party you belong to, make sure it's a Southern president, Southern candidate. We didn't say it is so person. We never said so. In fact, in our own case in PDP was even worse, that even when we agreed that, my colleagues still went against what we agreed. We said, okay, I've been at that position. It wasn't the matter. But not only giving her the presidential ticket, you also give her the national chairmanship ticket. So it was a double jeopardy. It was even bad that you gave it out to this area, when even the ruling party had come out to say, look,
we're going south.
For unity of Nigeria, for cohesiveness, for inclusivity, let this go to the south. I was okay. We can even manage the situation if we can return this back. He said no. In that case, what do you want anybody to do? So nobody said it must be this. All we say, whatever you are doing, it must be a Southern president. In order to balance of power in the country.
Excellency, now that we're talking about the G5 government,
yes,
what actually happened? Considering the outcome of the election, we discovered that it's not as pleasurable for some of your colleagues in the G5 as it is for you. You had a governorship candidate, you delivered your candidate. The governor of Abia State contested, he lost. Enugu State, some of it, they lost. And then I'm sure they are...
Governor of Benue lost.
Governor of Benue, Governor Tom also lost the election. What actually happened to the G5?
No, there's nothing that happened. First of all, what was the aim of G5? For equity, fairness, and justice. That the the presidency should come from the Southern Nigeria. And God made it clear, and I said so. It doesn't matter. I'm not running an election for whatever it will cost. Even if I lose everything I have, in course of the fight for the Southern president, it doesn't matter. Otom said so too. that he is going to make sacrifice, that even if he loses his senatorial ambition, even those of governorship, but let it be for equity and fairness and justice. Power hits. In everything you do, he may pay the price. But for me, he has stood as one of those who said there must be equity, there must be fairness, there must be justice. He may not have benefited it now, but history will be on his side that he stood by this. So it's not everything about personal. I lost my senatorial bid. I lost my gubernatorial support, or my gubernatorial candidate did not win because of my support. So let it be so. But everybody will remember who Motom was when Nigeria was talking about equity, fairness, and justice. Today, he said, Ugwanyi lost. Today, he said, Ibadan lost. No cause for alarm. If they are losing, that has brought the Southern presidency, fine, fine. That Mike and did not lose. He lost all the senatorial seats. Yes, he did. But he stood firm. He said, unity is important to me. It doesn't matter whether I will lose my governorship. Unity of this country is paramount to me. And for me too, whether I won, I didn't win. That's why the presidency has come to the South. It is very important.
So is the G5 still intact?
Very much intact. You see, what people didn't know is our modus of operandi. People are just guessing. Oh, they said it. Every day I read on newspapers. Every day I watch televisions. They say this is what's happening. There's no more G5. It's only 1G. Wike, this one, that one, all kinds of things. And the news is where in one television particularly arise. Oh, but today, what G5 have been saying, at the end of the day, who has won?
So you think the G5 prevailed?
Well, how do you not prevail? We're not talking about governorship. The governor must come from a state. The governor will not come from outside the state. The senator will come from the state. The senator will not come from outside the state. What they are talking about is Southern presidency for equity, for fairness, for justice. Like I said in life, in a revolution, you may not be direct beneficiary, but you stood firm. You are part of that revolution. That's what is key. It's not whether you benefited from it or not, but whether you are part of it. You are one of those who said, things must not continue this way.
I find it interesting that you mentioned equity, fairness, and justice.
Yes.
And this is even drilling down deeper.
Yes.
Yes, you wanted presidency to come to the South.
Yes.
But there was this strong opinion that for further equity, fairness, and justice, it should go to the Southeast, seeing that the Southeast has not tasted the presidency, at least in this Fourth Republic and even in recent times. So would you really say that equity, fairness, and justice has been done in this case, since the Southeast, up until, at least with this result, will not be tasting the presidency?
You see, again, you see that's the problem we have. Now you have different interests when you go to the South. You have political parties. And what was generally agreed was presidency should come to the South. Right? Now, when it comes to the South, it's for people to choose who is likely to win the election. Winnability and the party is also important. Winnability and party is also important. Not just if it comes to the South. For example, if you go and bring somebody who is in I don't know what to call it. I don't know these parties now. NNPP from the South. How will he win? How will he win?
But the Labour Party pulled an upset, a big one.
Fine. He was a former governor. He was a former vice presidential candidate. But this was purely in the South and in North Central. That's correct. That is correct. But to win an election in Nigeria is not only concerned in the South. You must have a spread in at least 25 states of the country. That is the truth of the matter. Take, for example, in Northwest. Obi President was not in Northwest. Check in the Northeast. Obi President was North Central, the South, South, and Southeast, and Lagos State. That is true. And so, for me, what's important is that, has the president come to the South? That is my own position.
So you feel equity, fairness, and justice has been done with the outcome of this?
But what we are saying, that the power should shift from north to south. Yes.
Just quickly, pardon me.
What is the way going forward for G5?
Yes.
You see the role that you can play in the politics. The outcome of the presidential election is exactly what you want. It's the five of you. Going forward now, what kind of role would you be playing in the politics going forward?
What kind of what?
Role. What role would you be playing in the politics, strategic roles?
We are still politicians. What you mean in the administration that's coming on board or what?
In your party, your political party.
We are still in our party.
Because the five of you have said you are not leaving the party.
Yes.
But so, of course, this is not the end of your political party yet.
Yes.
And it's still going forward. So what role would you be playing? Because the presidential candidate of the PDP, who didn't win the election, is still also a member of the party with all of his supporters. Yes. So how are you all going to coexist going forward?
Yeah, especially a contradiction also, Your Excellency. Recently you said the victory for the PDP in Rivers State is not, linked to the national.
Yes, they didn't give us support.
Let's just link that together.
Let me say this. Rivers State is PDP. The governorship is PDP. The senatorial seat is PDP. House of Reps, 90% PDP. House of Assembly, 100% PDP. So what do you mean by what role are we going to still play? It's not about me, it's about Rivers State now.
But you,
the governor,
you as an individual, your other colleagues, except Governor Sheyi Makinde, who will still be holding office as a governor.
Yes.
The four of you that are out of office are too afraid of being seen by your other colleagues within the PDP hierarchy as betrayers who wrecked the PDP.
How can people who did not even deliver call we that delivered betrayers? Take, for example, how you lost his polling unit. For his own presidential candidate, he lost his polling unit. I won 3 senatorial seats for PDP. I won 11 House of Reps for PDP. I won governorship for PDP. I won 32 over 32 House of Assembly for PDP. He didn't get governor. He didn't get anything. So who will call somebody a betrayer? Me that won or you that lost? No, tell me. Jigawa did not win presidential election. They did not win governorship election for PDP, right? Niger State did not win for presidential election. He did not win for governorship election. So Ali Babangida did not win, right? In Yobe, we didn't win the governorship election. I'm nothing. Adamu Waziri, Amanda Waziri. In Cross River State, Liali Moket, they didn't win. In Imo State, Emeka, they didn't even win 1 seat. I hear the assembly seat out of 27, APC took 26. In Sokoto State, I hear we did not win a governorship. So what are we talking about? Who are those who are really saying that that's PDP today? Somebody like Sheyi Makinde, somebody like Rivers State. So is it those who lost in their states that will say we did bad to PDP? Or we that won to still make sure that PDP exists, that you will not say that we are betrayers? How can...
Is it possible for the G5 to exist independent, to go solo, independent of the national? How possible is that?
No, but you have seen it now. First of all, they did not send logistics to us to do election here, as they sent to other states. But we still won. They didn't send to Sheyi Makinde, but he still won. So we were still carrying the PDP. Who will you listen to today in PDP? If PDP want to survive today in this country,
there's a national chairman.
Is it those who who, of course, has made people to go to oblivion. Yeah, what do you say?
There's a national chairman.
National chairman?
Yes.
He did what?
Does it
He just wanted the national chairman up.
Who
Constitutionally.
over the PDP?
Okay, fine.
By law.
You see, that's what we say. Oh, no. You see, that's what we say. People like to answer this name. I'm national chairman. I'm deputy national chairman. What relevance? What contribution? If you're national chairman and your state is opposition, if you're national chairman, you can win your polling unit. Of what relevance is that? If I'm talking today as a governor and I'm challenging that what's going in my party is wrong, and yet I'm just talking in my state, in my polling unit, I lost. In my local government, I lost. The assembly, I didn't get. Governorship, I didn't get. Senate, I didn't get. What am I talking? What am I talking? If we had lost it in our states, it is the states that make you national politic. Without the states, you can't be strong. You can't be strong. So what can national chairman tell me now? When he could not deliver his state? When he could not deliver his polling unit?
So
you know what to call a polling unit? A small cycle of people. You can't control them. You have no influence over them. And you lost. And you say a national chairman.
Is there room for reconciliation going forward? Because the party has to survive.
Yes.
Do you have room that, okay, 2023 is gone.
Yes.
Now we need to strategize for 2027.
Yes.
And the party has to exist. The party has to survive. Is there room for reconciliation? Because you would have taken stock of everything that happened in this last election.
Well, for me, I'm a peacemaker. Everybody knows me. I'm a peacemaker. All I want is equity, fairness, and justice. I'm a peacemaker. I'm not a troublesome person. All I don't like is for you to say that because you are there, everything must happen that way, even when you know it's wrong. I will not accept that. I will not accept that. And I have told anybody who cares. I've told anybody who cares. PDP should be careful. You see, there are those who don't want PDP to exist. And these are people who you think, when they talk, you think they have anything to offer. They hired Arise Television and put the other attacking dogs here, abusing us up and down. National chairman say we are small boys. When they are the small boys, have told him that, no, we are the big boys. We are the big boys. You are the small ones. The big boys have delivered. What happened to the big, to you who claim to be the founders? You know, there are those who just would, pride for nothing. Just allow the party to survive. You will not, because you believe, who are they? No, nobody does that. No, nobody does that. Mention one state of PDP in Nigeria today that did what Rivers State did. Mention one. Mention one state that even had governors that can say they have 3 senators. Mention one that can say they have total control of the state assembly. That say they have 95% of the House of Reps. So who lost PDP more? Is it those who never delivered, or those who still did what they did to make sure that that party is still there? Mention.
But they always say that no one is bigger than the party. Are you now
That's
saying
what we are saying.
Are you bigger than your party at the national level?
No. They say, what do you mean by national level?
I mean, the
You are talking
national...
about officers.
No, the
What
party,
makes
I mean,
national
the
level?
National Working Committee oversees
That's what is the officers of the national party.
Exactly.
So
So
that's
that's...
what, without the state, there cannot be also national working committee. Without the state, there couldn't be. There's nothing called national working committee to deliver national. It is the state vote that qualifies you. So this thing of national working committee is just hanging. It's a mere coordination.
And you want to demystify that? I'm
not demystifying. All I'm saying is you should do the right thing. Every state, every zone should be represented as required by law, as required by the constitution of the party. Our party says this thing should be zoned. And because of selfish interest, you said no, it will not be done.
At what point is there loyalty to the leadership of the political party from all this?
What is called loyalty? When you breach the constitution, when you intentionally breach the constitution to achieve a selfish interest, you want somebody to be loyal to that? What is loyalty? Define loyalty. Loyalty of the party is to make sure the party survives in the state you are. That's loyalty. If your party cannot survive in your state, what are you loyal to? When your party does not exist in your state, what's the loyalty for? My party, the PDP, exists in my state. So, you should be loyal to us, not you that cannot deliver your state. Why would you want to use us to begin to hang there? Your state is empty. You couldn't produce anything. So what are you hanging there for? What is your background now? What is giving you that clout? You see, any leader should be proud. I'm a leader of national party. I'm a chairman of national party. Because, one, I've been able to lead my party, first of all in my state. Did you understand me? Two, I've been able to galvanize my party, first of all in my zone. Right. If your zone is porous, nothing. Why do you want to use another zone to remain as a national chairman? Why?
Excellency, life provides us with options at any given time.
Yes.
In this situation, you have the option of leaving the party. Are you considering that?
I cannot. I have told you this is the party we have fought for. Look, them left this party before. He left this party and came back and now became national chairman. I'm not going to leave this party.
But are you worried that by May, because there are people within the PDP who actually have voiced that opinion out, that by May 29, you will become an ordinary former governor?
What is it? What is it?
Are you worried
what is that? Did I not? Who is that force? Am I not aware that my tenure is 8 years? Am I just knowing today that my tenure is 8 years? I fought a fight not because I don't know I'm leaving. How many of them will fight that kind of fight? Your relevance is not because whether you're a former governor or not. That is the mistake most of them make. As a governor, since 2019, I've never slept in Abuja. Most of them live in Abuja. I live in the village. I communicate with my people. I relate with my people. That's the relevance.
Do you think you will still be able to weigh the level of influence that you have now after me?
You know, that's what
have
people...
Have you invested enough in the PDP for you to be able to count on that after May, you will see command some level, appreciable level of
Mind
influence?
you, I was not a governor when a sitting governor was here. So what relevance? I was not a governor. I was not a governor. When in 2015, I defeated the candidate of the sitting governor. It was 1 million to 100,000 votes. Was I a governor then? How many governors have been able to survive the onslaught of the federal government against them? So it's not about you being a governor or not being a governor. It's about yourself, how you conduct yourself, how your people see you. That's what makes you relevant. It's not whether you're a former governor or you're not a former governor.
So beyond May, you continue to be a force in the PDP? The
way I've carried myself and the way I've related with my people, I don't think I have any problem. In any case, what's relevant? I can win my unit. I can win my ward. I can win my local government. It's you to go to Abuja and attend former governor's forum meeting, and then I go to my state, I lose the election. So my relevance is, if I'm invited to a meeting in Abuja, is that where the relevance is? I don't give a damn about that. My relevance is here. Deliver your state. That is your relevance. Not using other people's state votes to be relevant in Abuja. If we had won now, you will see all of them flying everywhere. We told them we will win, with weekend or no weekend, with backend or no backend, with autumn or no autumn, with Uguay or no Uguay. You would have seen that happen. Now let them fly now. Let them go now to Abuja and stay. And you would have seen the attack dust that would have appeared on our eyes. You know, we told Wike We will bury him politically. Has he not been buried? He lost woefully. He lost governorship woefully. Now they can't talk. I'm the only governor who delivered 32 over 32. I'm the only governor who delivered 3 over 3.
Even though the G5 won't be able to say the same because it's 2 over 5.
No,
look,
G5 made a sacrifice.
Right.
And that I delivered, I'm happy. That my colleagues may not have delivered does not mean that all they said. It doesn't matter what it takes.
What do you think happened to them, really? Have you cared to find out how they were not able to maneuver?
Well, there are things I cannot tell you here, which is personal to us, particularly in the southeast, particularly in Enugu and Abia. And we have taken it the way it is. We have reviewed the whole situation. We know.
Excellency, are you still taking credit for delivering the APC in Rivers State because they have been opposition?
No. I'm not taking credit. Rivers people are taking credit that the Southern president won here.
You are the chief executive.
No, chief executive to govern.
You told your people who to vote for.
Oh, but if I tell people to vote, they won't vote. So what will you do? It is their decision. After people go and canvass for votes, and they may not listen to you. So I give credit to Rivers people. They choose where they want to do. Look at the voting pattern. The 2 presidential candidates of the 2 from the south. And that's what I have preached for. And that's what I stand. I won't apologize to anybody.
And you are not taking the credit.
Why would I take credit? The Rivers people should take the credit, not to me.
They are the ones something very interesting just now about what was responsible for the defeat of your other colleagues in the southeast.
No, they have not been defeated. The Lord is senatorial. Mind you, the Southern president, the election being held the same time of the president and National Assembly was not easy. For the fact that people are talking about Southern president, it affected the National Assembly election, particularly in the southeast. Particularly in the southeast.
We're going to talk about the strategy.
No. I will not open up that.
We're not going to talk about it.
No. I will not open up everything to you. I'm able to tell you we have seen, we knew, and the governors are not worried about it. Because if the sacrifice you pay for, it's okay.
Yeah, but somebody would say that because just not long ago you said that your relevance is dependent on your going home to deliver your state. So if G5 members all couldn't deliver their states, can somebody not
the issue is the issue is, first of all, here is national election, here is local election, right? At national election, who won? Presidential candidate from the south. And that is the point we are making. If no presidential candidate from the south won, then you would have held them responsible. Why are you making all this noise? After all, the presidential candidate from the other side is one that won in your state. And I told you here that we didn't say it must be so person. But we said it must be from the south. For the accord from Asaba to Lagos and Enugu, we kept to it. That's the point we're making. So you can't say they're not relevant. Local elections are different thing. You can see what's happening now. If it was national, look at what happened national, did anybody complain? But now because it's local election, there are different interests.
I find this interesting.
Yes.
If you were made the vice presidential candidate of your party, would you have still agitated for presidency for the South?
It would have affected me. You see, first of all, I told you I never ran an election to a vice presidential candidate.
So you'll have rejected the offer?
Not about rejecting. Yes, it affected me. Not because the claim was for Southern president. Again, certain things could change because of individual too. Certain things could change because of individual. But if anybody saw that wave that was coming, you knew that, look, the position of Southern presidency. Two, another thing that affected so many things, some people are not comfortable about the Muslim ticket, particularly in the Christian-dominated areas, particularly in the Christian-dominated areas. And if you watch, practically, the areas that went for Obi are mostly the Christian-dominated areas. And that's the truth of the matter. Apart from the issue of Southern presidency. So it was clear. So all we are doing to see how we can, whittle down what was going on or what would have happened. But our party did not buy that thing. Because our party, you see, they are so this dummy that look, the entire North will support their candidate. And if the entire North supports their candidate, it's all over. But that wasn't the case, because the reality has come to Nigerians that want the unity of this country. Even for the APC governor to have come out openly. After all, did they have the numbers? They have the numbers. But the APC governors came out openly, wrote a letter, particularly those from the North, wrote a letter to Mr. President and the chairman of their party. So listen, we want unity of Nigeria. We want Nigeria to continue as one country. Let us not, because we are in power, continue to say this thing will continue to be where we are. No, it will not work. For me, I give them that heroic role. Because history, when history is written, they will remember what they have done.
But what extent did you go to achieve this southern presidency? The Labour Party chairman, Comrade Julius Abure, actually accused you of utilizing soldiers to coerce INEC officials and steal ballots after observing that Labour Party was coasting to victory in your state. Did you go that extent?
I don't know who is the Labour Party chairman. I've never met him in my life.
Or can you respond generally to
what?
all those
Tell me.
of violence and suppression?
Can they give me the incident of one violent area? You see, it is not good to say violence. We have 23 local governments. We have not less than 7,000 polling units.
And INEC officials?
No, I'm coming. We're talking about presidential. In every allegation I made, even my broadcast yesterday, when I was telling Chibigaro to my mate, well, you know the one who was using army. I have no relationship with the army. I have no relationship. When I mean relationship, I have no relationship about inviting army. I've never appointed a CP in this state. I've never.
Appointed or influenced the appointment?
When I mean appointed, I'm talking about influence. I don't have power to appoint, right? But the Chief Executive is one who appoints who recommends any CP that comes here.
Even the current CP?
Yes.
And you have that on good authority?
Am I in their government?
Does he have the right to influence the posting of a CP when there is a sitting governor yourself?
We are talking grammar. English, what we are talking about. I told you we are not chief security officers, we are chief logistics officers. How many times will I tell Nigerians that? Which governor? In a ruling party. Which governor? Look, I can tell you the truth. This is the only IG. This is the only IG that has never intervened. The last CP I had who was promoted as AIG, Ebuka, was a railway. I mean, she brought him. Then he went back to change the man, and I just said, but you're the one who brought the man. What did he do? In 2016, within 1 year, I had 8 CPs. When Idris, former IG, from Niger State, was the IG. There was nothing I did not suffer in this state. Let us not pretend about it. People know that. In 2019, you saw the army, what they did to me here. Look, why do I need to use the army? When I watch people analyze in various television, he said Nigerians are beginning to now understand, or politicians are beginning to now understand, that they owe the people good governance. That's what people say. Now, if he says that, with the level of performance here in this state, why do I go and need the army to change foot? Tell me, if according to what you said, performance in states, were you not the one who witnessed when President Buhari gave me that award as that infrastructure state. What is performance? Mentioning all ramifications in Rivers State today. So why would I go and need police to go and begin to rig election? Why would I need army? It is those who have not been able to offer anything that are dependent on security agencies to help them to rig election. I don't need it. What I need is be able to perform. Promise people, promise local government, this is what you are going to do, and you do it. Have they done it? Have I promised? Have I promised? Yes. Have I fulfilled? Yes. Look at what I said. Let one local government come out and say, we have not had any impact of your government. And that is what sold us to the people. If I go to the Calabari areas, I go to Degema, I go to Saritoro, I go to Akotoro, I ask them, did I tell you I would do Trans-Calabari youth? They say yes. Have I done it? They say yes. Did I tell you I would provide more land for you by sampling the area? Yes. Have I done it? Yes. Did I tell you I would do these schools and these schools? Yes. Have I done it? Yes. What do you need? And you go to Ogodi area. Did I tell you I would do Sap 1 to Corner Road? Yes. Have I done it? Yes. Did I tell you I would do government school? Yes. Have I done it? Yes. And you go to all the areas. That's why I told you from the beginning the confidence I have. If you like, bring American Marine. Bring American Marine here. Bring, what do they call them? The Navy SEAL to come to Rivers State. You will kill everybody, but we'll still win.
All right, Excellency, we need to take a break. The weather is hot. We need to take a break to allow you to rehydrate a little bit, and then we'll continue. Of course, where to resume will be your frontal response to the allegations of killings and other malpractices during the two elections, particularly the last election. Thank you. We'll go on a quick break.
TV.com has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Channels Television. Ubiquitous. Stay connected to the world with Channels TV Podcast and get all the trending stories. Simply log on to channelstv.com, click on podcast, select the program of your choice, and listen. Our podcast is available on Apple, Google, and Spotify. Tap the expertise you trust. Touch the